everyone, and welcome to Friday night coverage of the Online Darts Live League. Group B will be finalised by the time we get to around 1 a.m, of course, on Saturday morning. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson. I've been here all week. I sincerely hope that you have as well. We have had a fantastic Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. We really have had some fun with Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday because we have, on Monday and Tuesday, had a perfect player. He won 20 points over the course of the first 2 days and gathered enough points on Wednesday to ensure his place in the finals. But we have had, of course, over the last couple of days, some Group C action as well. But first and foremost, we're going to have a look at what happened in Group A. So, there it is. Jared Cole, 15 games, 12 wins. Very, very good from the young man from Hertfordshire. 24 points. And he only got 4 points on Wednesday, which was good enough just to make sure of his position in number 1. Number 2 and number 3, Mike Warburton, they had decent weeks, and they are playing this evening by virtue of their number 2 and number 3 position. Scott Marsh, Darren Beveridge and Nathan Girvin then took part in Group C, which was finalised a little bit earlier on today. Let's have a little look at what happened in Group C. As far as that is concerned, it came down to the very last start in the group. Lee Cox won it on 14 points. Connor Scutt got there in the end, but Wes Newton in 4th position missed a couple of darts to get through. Well, it was a dramatic day, but as far as tonight is concerned, let's have a little look at the fixtures for tonight to see what you've got in store for your Friday night's entertainment. Scott Williams and Richie Burnett will start things off. Paul Hogan will take on Mike Warburton, and then Richie Burnett will take on Justin Smith. He is the person in Group B currently who is at the top of the table. Undefeated yesterday, he had 8 points. He was very, very good, as you can see from our graphic there. Mike Warburton with 3 wins from 4. Richie Burnett with 2 wins from 4 matches, and Paul Hogan getting the 1 solitary victory with Scott Williams at the foot of the table. So Justin Smith is in the driving seat tonight, and he doesn't have to do a great deal to seal his final spot because 3 of the 5 players will go through to tomorrow night's final. We are approaching 10:05 here in the UK, live on Sporty Stuff TV and YouTube internationally for our viewers overseas. Let's get down to the board to see who is going to win the first match. It is going to be Richie Burnett up against Scott Williams. So in a rematch of match 10 from around about 10 to 2 this morning, we did run a little bit late into Friday morning, but the man in yellow, who apparently wears yellow because of his son called Buzz. That is a bit of information that I gained today about Scott Williams. He's looking for his first win of this group because he failed to win any of his 4 games last night.
91.
So there's no real pressure on him, but if he has a good night tonight, he can find his way to the top 3. That's what needs to happen for these players. They need to be
60
in the gold, silver or medal or bronze medal position to get themselves into the finals with Jared Cole, with Lee Cox and Connor Scutt. And allow me to say at this point, I think when we have our finals live on Sporty Stuff TV from 10 p.m. tomorrow night on Saturday, it is wide open, whoever is there. If you make
99.
the final tomorrow, or if you make a win in the 3rd place playoff, you will play in Champions Week starting on September 13th. And then that week, we have the big night on September 18th, where all of the money is up for grabs for the winner of Phase 4.
59.
£7,000 is up for grabs on that finals night. But you've got to get there first.
57.
Richie Burnett yesterday with a win percentage of 50%. 2 wins,
60.
2 losses.
Scott,
One of those wins came against Scott Williams in that 10th match from this morning. But it's Scott Williams who has the better start here. He had a bit of a bookend evening.
100.
He lost 4-3 in match 1 to Paul Hogan. And then he lost 4-3 to Richie Burnett in match 10. Can he have a very different night to possibly
44.
get through to the finals
Scott,
at the expense
56.
of 2 of the players from tonight's roster? Double top. We'll give him the first leg. And double 10 is found for a very steady-looking 18 darter to start proceedings off for tonight. He does have the darts in this match, which is something he didn't have in match 10 last night.
Like it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
So if everything went with the darts, everybody would get their fair share.
140.
Players will be separated by points. 2 points for a win, 0 for a loss, of course. But if they can't be separated by points, we'll look at leg difference from all of their matches. And if they can't be separated by that, we'll look at legs won. And then we may have to go to the head-to-head record.
180.
But we haven't had to wait long for that first maximum. It comes from Richie Burnett, who yesterday
180.
hit 10 180s, more than anybody else. But when he gets one, Scott Williams backs his up.
60.
Justin Smith got 7 180s last night. Richie Burnett got 10. Nobody else was close to that.
140. Richie require 120.
To level things up, this has been a high-quality second leg. Oh, that's unfortunate. The momentum was killed by that dart in the single 20.
120.
He thought he was going to leave double 12. But he might not win the leg at all because double 11 is begging to be hit. And there it is for a 1-2-4. Scott Williams doubles his lead in no time whatsoever. Right in the middle of the 60. An aggressive treble 14. And there is a beautiful looking central double 11 for the man at the foot of the table. Didn't do a massive amount wrong. He had a very steady evening, averaging just shy of 85. 4 maximums, but the real separator between him and the rest of the field were the doubles. He only had 29% of success on the outer ring and the bullseye.
83.
Everybody else was better than that, and that is why he was in 5th position. He did have a particularly eye-catching 139 checkout, though. And already tonight he's had an eye-catching 1-2-4.
100.
4 matches per player tonight. We will have Paul Hogan and Mike Warburton in the next match. Everybody looking to pursue Justin Smith at the top, who was faultless last night. He really was impressive. I've gone as far to say in the early hours of this morning that that is the best I've seen Justin Smith play. Great switching. Great use of that 54 bed. Burnett in all sorts of bother in this first fixture of the night. Needs another.
100.
even though he doesn't get one. If it's like
Scott,
leg
you
2,
require
he doesn't get another
160.
shot. One more 19 for tops.
96.
Richie does get the reprieve this time.
Richie, you require 118.
Misses from Scott Williams have come as rarities so far in this match. A 60 is needed. And somehow it doesn't find the bed there. He found the small gap between the point and the 60 bed. And he is puzzled.
58. Scott, you required 20.
Scott Williams is looking at 3-0.
15.
That is a big mistake.
Richie, you require 60.
He offers an olive branch to Richie Burnett. Doesn't have to move for this too much. Double 10 to get within 1.
50.
The
Scott,
olive
you
branch
require
breaks.
5.
Just a bit of reparation work he had to do.
1.
It was all very much faultless stuff up
Richie,
until
require
the end of this
10.
third leg. And he wanders back to the table, wondering how he's not 3-0 up.
Game on the
Because it's
third
now
leg.
2-1. And Richie Burnett
Burnett
probably needed a little bit of fortune in this match just to get himself started. That bit of fortune has just come. How can he use it from here?
Fourth leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Burnett averaged 88.94 yesterday, which is incredibly similar to what he's been doing all year long.
100.
I cross-referenced what he did last night to what he's done for the rest of 2021, and there were only 0.03 of a point between them.
180.
An extraordinary level of consistency from Richie Burnett, and from a player that
60.
has not failed to make weekly finals in phase 2 and 3. And if he makes it tonight, it will be another finals in phase 4.
81.
Just because he's in third position now doesn't mean that he's going to be in third position at the end of the night. He's going to have to be crafty. He's going to have to grind it out.
43.
It was very much a 50-50 evening for Richie. 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses, 12 legs won, 12 legs lost.
97.
An all square leg difference. It was all very symmetrical. But there were some
34.
extraordinary finishes last night, and this was one
Scott,
of
you
them.
require
143 was
143.
hit by Burnett last night. I think that one landed
68.
on the floor after hitting the wire. He's still got time to play with. But the last time he was in command of a leg, he missed all sorts of doubles.
81. Scott, you require 75.
He should be going for this to win the match.
55.
He's on the underside of tops once again. Richie will believe that there is a little bit of scar tissue when it comes to doubles for Scott. And he's approached
159.
perfectly with a 159.
Scott, you require 20.
That's close. Is it too close?
10.
Maybe it was with those torpedo-style darts.
Richie, you require 24.
And Richie Burnett put massive amounts of pressure on that double 10 with the 159 approach. He needs double 6.
12.
What a befuddling
Scott, you
game
require
we are
10.
watching here. All sorts could have happened, but it's 2 for double 4.
6.
And yet again, he's messing around on the outer ring. Scott Williams
Richie,
will be
you require
writhing inside, thinking, why is this game still going?
Game
It is
shot
still
on the
going,
fourth leg.
and everything
Richie
is
Burnett.
level now. Well, 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 what have we witnessed? It should have been 4-0 to Scott Williams. He's had multiple darts in every leg so far, but it's all square and possibly 3 legs to go.
Game on.
Of the 10 games from last night, 4 of them went the distance.
57.
And through the entire phase, around about a third of the results have been going the distance of 7 legs.
125.
Scott Williams not getting a victory last night, and indeed early this morning.
100.
Saw his overall Online Darts Live League win percentage plummet from around about 65% at this time yesterday to 50%. He's now played
55.
16 matches in total, 8 wins and 8 losses. But he's protecting a 100% record of making finals as well. Back in week 3 of phase 3, he won his group. But unfortunately for him, in the finals night, he came 5th.
$121.
If Burnett wins this match, you're going to see the biggest sigh of relief from any player. Maybe with the exception of Connor Scutt earlier today, where Wes Newton missed 2 darts in 2 different legs to get through Group C. And because he didn't, and eventually lost to Lee Cox in the last match of Group C, Connor Scutt got through to the finals by the skin of his teeth. I mentioned that 1-4-3 finish of Burnett yesterday.
Richie require
He's got 1-4-2 here, which is just a little bit easier. Because he has 2 at the same treble, and he's got them both for double 11.
128.
Well, that leaves double 7. That really wasn't his best effort.
Scott, you require 86.
But it was his first chance to take the lead. Is he going behind again?
70.
The amount of darts that Scott Williams has missed.
Require 14.
Quite astronomical. This has got to be really precise. Too aggressive. That's the problem with odd number doubles. If you split it with dart 2,
requires 60.
Dart 3 becomes useless. And double 8 stops the rot for Scott Williams. You saw that little stare at the double from him. In a match that is first to 4, he could have won this 5-0. Well, it's 3-2, and he requires 1 more leg.
Game on.
It reminds me of one of the greatest Richie Burnett sayings that has been uttered out loud.
180.
As he gets his second 180 of the match and levels up with Scott in that statistic. 4 180s for our first match
55.
of the night so far. There's quite some going. We had 26 180s in total last night, and I think we might get something fairly similar. Oh, we've got another one from Burnett, though. We'll come back to that story about Richie Burnett a little bit later, because last night he had a crack at this.
128. Richie
didn't get dart 8.
141.
He's got the 60. He's got the 45. Double 18. Richie Burnett hits a 9-darter. Get in there, the Prince of Wales. He would hope it is for the match, but it is to take us all the way. And Mr. Perfect Richie Burnett, the winner of Phase 2, plants the 9.
Final leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Now comes the challenge
100.
of letting the adrenaline come down from that. Now he has a job to do, and that is to win this match.
100.
He won't care if it's 90 darts, as long as he gets the points. Because if he does get 2 points here and goes to 6 alongside Mike Warburton in second spot, he's getting very, very close to finals for week 2.
81.
He missed that double 18 for the 9-darter to win phase 2. He ended up taking it in the next visit. But that 9-darter has been coming. If he was playing this in a big arena,
41.
and there were a good 3,000 or 4,000 people there, they'd be shouting, "He's still got it. He's still got it, all right."
57.
He hasn't got this game. Not yet.
The
gap is widening between Scott and Richie in this last leg.
Scott, you require 170.
The 9-dart curse might have been found yet again. The amount of people that lose games
77.
after hitting a 9-darter. That's why we always say the best time to hit a 9-darter is the last leg. That way you don't have to wrestle with the adrenaline that your body has to handle.
100.
Look at that follow through.
Scott, you require 93.
Very similar to the behavior of Rudolf Nureyev. Double 10.
Game shot.
And Scott Williams has won the match on double 10. And he protects his position with a 93 checkout in the 7th leg. And he gets his first win of the group. And he does defy the 9-darter from Richie Burnett. Unbelievably, it's an 84 average and a better average than Scott Williams. But it's not good enough to get the points. Williams gets his first win. 2 big finishes in that one. And of course, the 1-4-1 for the 9. Great highlight. But it's all about the points from here on out for Richie Burnett. We're going to take a short break now. And when we come back, it's going to be Mike Warburton and Paul Hogan. Fellas, follow that after the break. Hello and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. What a start we have had to our Group B action with that 9-darter from Richie Burnett. But it was defeat for him in match 1. This one is Paul Hogan versus Mike Warburton. These two players, you have to say, the Crocodile Dundee Aussie colours, as you can see, but it's got nothing to do with Australia, that coloured shirt. We'll get into that in a second. He needs the points more than Mike Warburton, the 36-year-old from North Wales.
Okay, first leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Hogan now has company on 2 points in the shape of Scott Williams. Just to reconfirm,
140.
3 players of the 5 in this group will progress to the finals tomorrow. Warburton on 6 points is in a good spot.
140.
Get a win here against Hogan and he will join Justin Smith on 8 points. But Paul Hogan, with 4 matches tonight, starting on 2, is going to have to do better than last night
100.
if he's going to play in the finals. He has reached a weekly finals night on a Saturday twice, but on both occasions he has finished tied for 5th.
86.
So there are improvements to be made for the man in green and gold. And just to clear up why he's wearing the green and gold, it's nothing to do with his nickname Crocodile Dundee.
41.
It's to do with the fact that he's a West Brom fan. And that is one of their chosen kit colours.
$95.
It just so happens that it does look like an Australian shirt. Funnily enough, we were having a pretty in-depth conversation
60.
in the production area before tonight's darting action about Australian soap operas and Australian sayings. We do have Gigi Mathers with us as part of the production crew this evening.
One
One of the tour card holders from Australia. And he was having a right bit of banter with us about some of the Aussie sayings and some of the things that
100.
British people think that Aussies like.
Mike, you require 40.
Mike Warburton likes this first leg because he's on tops after 12. He wants to be on nothing after 15. And he is on nothing. That's the point of this game. You've got to get to 0. And Mike Warburton, he gets a break of throw at the very start of this match, showing real strength as he has all week long.
It's Mike to throw first. Game on.
6 points yesterday, like I mentioned. A running average on the first night of Group B of 90.98.
44.
That is a big, big improvement on what he did in Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Throughout that group, he was actually the worst player
100.
from an average perspective, but he was still grabbing points. 4 180s, a best individual average in the game of 93.32.
100.
Best leg of a 12-darter, and a high out of 161. The second time he has hit a 161 in the Online Darts Live League this year.
60.
Everybody was looking up at Justin Smith last night. His level of performance was
60.
so much better than everybody else. We'll get onto that when Justin graces the hockey for the first time against Richie Burnett next. But Hogan, 85 average for the night.
60.
85.36 to be exact. Only the one maximum. And a best average of 88.49. And a high finish of 160. We did have some big finishes last night. Everybody got a ton plus checkout, and funnily enough, in a strange twist of fate, each player got 1 ton plus checkout each.
40.
And only one of them was a small one. The rest of them were all gigantic. I've mentioned Warburton's 161. Hogan's was 160. Williams was 139. And Burnett's was 143. And we know he's added to that with a 141 tonight already. Is Hogan going to be left
85.
behind here
Mike, you require
by a
60.
blistering Mike Warburton at the start? Double top.
40.
Didn't really scare that tops.
All you require
Hence the scratching of
156.
the eyebrow after that third dart was delivered.
100. Mike,
I
you
don't
require
think he's going to miss
20.
this time. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse. But he doesn't miss this time.
Leg.
Second
Mike
dart in double
Warburton.
10, and he does double his lead. He is looking very assured. And Mike Warburton, who has not made weekly finals for a while, is getting very
Delegate
close
to
to
throw
it
first.
with
Game on.
performances like this. It's only 85 so far, but there are
100.
little bits of improvement that can be made. Get an extra treble here and there. Polish it on the finishing just a tiny bit. And he'll be back at the same level as last night. But all you've got to do is beat the
140.
player in front of you. And currently Paul Hogan's only averaging 80.
$100.
I'll be fascinated to see what kind of stuff we get from Justin Smith tonight. He gets the late shift. He starts in match 3.
41.
Scott Williams gets the long shift. He started in match 1 and will finish in match 10 against Paul Hogan.
60.
One of the oddest statistics from last night was in this corresponding fixture. Warburton won it by 4 legs to 3. Paul Hogan
100.
had a checkout percentage of 100%. He got 3 shots and hit them all. So the only thing he didn't do right in that match was give himself a 4th shot.
55.
This is where you want the maximum from 220 to leave tops.
140.
That is not a bad plan B. Warburton's leg difference as it stands is +2. The second best of anybody in this group.
100.
But
Mike,
if he
you
can get a
require
big win against
80.
Hogan here, he'll do his chances the world of good. Slightly higher. Slightly higher again. He's got
40.
Hogan putting his hands on his hips.
We require 86.
He needs one slightly higher. But he doesn't get the single. That will really, really annoy him.
36. Mike, you require 40.
This is not only for 3-0. It's for 2 breaks of throw. Double 5.
35.
That
All you
will not
require,
please him.
50.
Hogan should be on a double here. Well, he is eventually. Bends the wire.
30.
Doesn't find the target.
Mike, you require
It's all a
5.
bit flat right now for Crocodile Dundee. And double
Game
2
shot
is
on the
found.
third leg.
Mike Warburton
Mike
is getting
Warburton.
chances maybe when he doesn't deserve them in certain legs, but you've got to take the chances that come your way. And so far, a 3-0, I think it's a fair result.
Game on.
Of course, the perfect start to an evening like this is to win 4-0. You don't expect to do so,
100.
especially when you're averaging 84. But you'll take it.
60.
We've already seen today in Group C just what can happen after a few matches go a different way. We saw Nathan Gervin only get 2 points
58.
from all of Thursday.
Paul's last score was 60.
What did Nathan Girvan do today? He won every game. He won all 5. And then he only missed out on a final spot because of the fact that he lost 4 games on Thursday. If he won one more, he was going to be there.
41.
Just left himself with too much to do, but having an undefeated day today, we have to pay tribute to Nathan Girvan, the 18-year-old from Scotland, who has done himself a lot of credit this week.
100.
He was eliminated with Darren Beveridge, with Scott Marsh, and by
60.
Wes Newton, who lost out on Group C qualification by a matter of a couple of darts at double. That was it. Connor Scutt got through with the table topper Lee Cox.
140.
Warburton is not going to look back after this. This is going to blast his confidence in the right direction. And there's nothing that Hogan can do from 340
Mike, you
to
require
pressurise the position of 103 that Mike Warburton has for the victory now. Fails on the 51. But does get that to leave double 18. Come back to the board. Find 2 18s. Job done. He'll be on 8 points and getting close to the finals for Saturday night already.
No score.
He will have to return once again. I think the problem there is that the first dart was too close on the outside. He couldn't really use it as a guide.
41.
Nothing Paul Hogan is doing tonight is working. He has got much to think about before he returns in match 5. Now, what does Mike Warburton want to do here? He's on double 7. And he finds a way to get 36 points with 3 darts all the way around the board. It was a double 4, then a 14, and of course another 14 at the southern part of the board in double 7. It all added up to 36 anyway, so it is a case of job done. And a 4-0 scoreline averaging 78, so a bit of an oddball game. But Mike's not going to care about that because it's all about the points, and he's got 2 more points right there. So he's joined Justin Smith on 8. When we return after this, it's going to be an all-Welsh clash with Richie Burnett taking on the table topper in Justin Smith. We'll be right back. welcome back to the Online Darts Live League for Friday night action in Group B. We've just had some Welsh success by 4-0 for Mike Warburton to take him to a little bit closer to our table topper in Justin Smith. We're guaranteed Welsh success in match 3 because it's Justin Smith against Richie Burnett. If indeed it is going to be a clean sweep of Welsh players going through to the finals from this group, Richie Burnett has got to be careful from here.
First. Game on.
If he can find a win against Justin, he would get to 6 points within 2 of Warby and Justin Smith. But he would open up a 4-point gap between himself and Paul Hogan and Scott Williams. They would be marooned with only
59.
2 matches to go for Richie and 3 for everybody else. But let's just touch on how well Justin Smith played yesterday. As we see yet another 180 from Richie Burnett. By far and away the best maximum hitter in this group. And you'd have to say it, the best 180 hitter of pretty much everybody that's played here this year.
59.
Justin Smith on Thursday night / Friday morning. Averaged for the night 94.21. A best individual performance of 100.22. He won all 4 of his games with a checkered percentage of 40% exactly. And had 7 maximums. One of the most complete days he's had in his live league career.
60.
Because he did play
Richie
some live league last year from his own home in southwest Wales.
$96.
Of these 2 players, you'd have to say that Burnett needs the points more.
135.
Justin Smith has got that little bit of breathing room, courtesy of that perfect night last night. Burnett needs 88.
32.
He might get bitten now with Smith on 94.
Game
oh, perfectly done from Justin Smith. Just doesn't hesitate as he gets the 54 and the tops to get rid of that first leg in no time at all, showing that talent that he definitely possesses.
Justin to throw first. Game on.
Richie Burnett playing his 2nd match of the night here after losing to Scott Williams by 4-3.
55.
Maybe hitting the 9 darter in that match at the wrong time in leg 6. And consequently losing leg 7.
140.
But if he doesn't pick up a win in either this match or the next, when he plays Mike Warburton, he's going to be looking over his shoulder when he plays Paul Hogan in his final match. This is a key game for him. He does not want to miss out
85.
On tomorrow night. He loves playing Saturday night here. He has won twice on Saturday night, getting the Sporty Stuff TV trophy and indeed getting the Phase 2 overall win.
128.
That was an interesting approach on 306 from Justin Smith. Going 18s first. Usually, it's a 19s first approach. I think he might have got his wires crossed. Still got a really good position here.
94.
After breaking Burnett in leg 1. And after taking 94 in leg 1, he's now looking at one of its younger cousins, 84.
100. Justin, you require 84.
The one thing Burnett doesn't want here is a drubbing. Double 11.
Game shown the second.
Oh boy, Justin Smith in the mood again. 2 hits from 2 attempts at the double, and he is 2-0 up on the Prince of Wales, who's in real trouble here.
Third leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
Nothing wrong with the way he's starting the legs.
180.
I will say that. Second 180 of the match.
97.
He's averaging 85. But Justin Smith is just too consistent right now. He's hovering around that 94 average from last night again.
140.
He looks like a player who isn't shouldering any pressure. He looks, once again, like he cut his beard with a laser. Takes a lot of pride in his appearance, and there's nothing wrong with that.
42.
I like to see these young players take pride in their appearance and make themselves a young darts brand. Let's face it, Welsh darts. Has it ever been in a better place? I don't think it has.
$125. Richie requires 60.
One of the flag bearers of the Welsh game, Richie Burnett, the 95 world champion, is looking for his first leg of this contest.
20.
And he will be back for that. Nothing to worry about, Richie. 3 darts at tops incoming. Even though Richie wants to beat Justin here,
93.
he'll be glad to see
Richie
so many young
40.
bucks coming through from his neck of the woods.
Game's
Finds
on the
double
third
top,
leg.
and that's a 13 darter.
Richie Burnett.
And as far as 13 darters are concerned, that's probably one of the most lackluster ones that I've seen this week. But Richie Burnett is in the match now with a
Fourth leg,
top
it's
quality
Justin to throw
5-visit leg.
first. Game
I
on.
don't mean to be disrespectful about 13 darters, but that looked a lot worse than 13.
60.
Yesterday, Richie averaged 93 against Justin, and it was not good enough because that was the match
100.
where Justin averaged over 100 for the very first time in a live league match this year.
140.
And he did something that was mightily impressive in his 4 games last night. Not just the overall play, but we did see him in the early piece of 2021, and he played some decent darts. But last night, he improved on his 2021 personal best. Not once, not twice, but 3 times last night in a row.
100. Justin, you require 161.
Richie ambles to the board in disappointment. And Justin Smith is looking for a 161, but he's just going to set it up.
129.
He made that look so easy. Remember the name.
$60.
His action has improved in the last 12 months that I've been
Justin, you
watching him.
require 32.
Absolutely
Game's
believe
on the
that.
fourth
And he
leg.
still has not
Justin
missed
Smith.
a double in this match. 3 shots, 3 hits, 3 different doubles. He can do no wrong.
Fifth leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
I have to mention, of course, not to go on about that 9 darter too much because it hasn't had a massive bearing on the results
100.
for tonight and indeed this group. But it is the first 9 darter live on Sporty Stuff TV.
100.
Is Justin going to replicate what he did against Richie early this morning?
60.
This is a bit of a disaster result for Richie Burnett. If he loses 4 legs to 1, his leg difference goes to -4. And all of a sudden, Scott Williams and Paul Hogan are a lot closer to him than he would
60.
like. The format for tomorrow's finals is a little bit different to what you're seeing right here.
140.
2 groups of 3 players. Each player has 2 matches to try and get through their group. The top 2 from each group go through to the semi-finals. Then the winners of the semi-finals will play in the final and will be guaranteed a spot in the Champions Week starting September 13th. And then the losers of the semi-finals will play off for 1 remaining spot in that week.
82.
Back comes Smith, trying to get to a finish here. Doesn't like that second dart, so he should go 18s.
100.
But he's a very courageous individual.
119. Yeah.
Doesn't have to go the bull route here on the way out because Justin's north of a finish. That's why the treble 10 was used.
87.
He will return for 32. That was a good attempt from the Prince of Wales, of which there are 2 these days, of course. We have Prince of Wales Senior in Richie and Prince of Wales Junior in Louis Williams, who has a tour card these days and is doing very good things
32.
on tour. Do yourself a favour, Richie. Don't miss this.
Game
and he doesn't. He keeps himself alive.
Richie Burnett.
You just don't know how valuable that leg will be. If indeed he does lose this match, every leg is going to be good for
Justin
him.
To throw first. Game on.
If it goes to leg difference, you may look back at certain points of the night and say,
60.
yeah, I won that leg. I should have won that one. Shouldn't have lost that one. But these are tight groups, and they do come down to the finest margins.
96.
That's why these group scenarios are so exciting, because there are so many possibilities. That is the first 180 of Justin Smith tonight.
180.
We've had 2 from Richie. That's Justin's first. He's averaging north of 95 again.
60.
He's got Richie Burnett just where he wants him. He's in for a second. Back to back he goes.
180.
And that's exactly what Richie Burnett did not want to hear. He can stand back and admire. But this is not good news for Burnett. He might be embroiled
43.
in a bit of a war.
Justin, you require 81.
For that 3rd spot. Double 18 to finish the match with an 11 darter. Very, very good indeed. Justin Smith's best leg of last night was 13 darts, and everybody else had a better leg than that. But he puts it right, and a 4-2 victory is finished with an 11 darter. And once again, he has bettered his personal best. Oh, what is he doing to us this week? Constant improvement. And of course, that is, by 0.03 of a point, the best performance of the entire week, overtaking Richie Burnett of 101.90. So well done, Justin Smith. He's now on 10 points. We're going to get another look at Mike Warburton and Scott Williams. They're going to do battle in match 4 coming up after this. Hello darts fans and welcome back to the Sporty Stuff TV coverage of the Online Darts Live League here on Friday evening. We've just seen a vintage performance from a young man from Wales of Justin Smith. Are we going to get something similar from this man from the other side of the country? Ten points for our league leader now, Justin Smith. Mike Warburton just behind on 8 points. And you get the feeling that Warburton is feeling very comfortable with his position right now. After this game is finished, Warburton and Williams will have 2 matches left. So if Mike wins for the second night in a row against Scott, we know that Warby is safe. He will be in the finals. So technically this is a final.
140.
He still has 2 more matches to go to try and book his place. He'd rather get it done and play with a bit of freedom for the rest of the night. He didn't have a great deal to shout about in his first performance against Paul Hogan, but then again he didn't have to.
24.
Only had to average 78 in a 4-0 victory. But on the flip side, the man in yellow from Boston in Lincolnshire has only 2 points and is scrapping for his place in the finals. He has to keep winning. One thing we can say about Scott is that if he does lose this match, he's not going to catch Justin Smith and Mike Warburton. They're going to be out of reach. He'll be playing for 3rd place. And with Richie Burnett losing his first 2 matches tonight,
60.
It is up for grabs. Richie Burnett now is looking at Paul Hogan and Scott Williams slightly differently to the way he was a little bit at the start of play. What a great approach shot there from Scott. Speaking of great approach play,
Scott, you required 24.
You're not going to take a 141. That's what you want. But that's a double 12 and a 13-dart break of throw to start things off. This fast-paced match. Mike Warburton's not exactly the fastest player, but he's been made to look faster by the rapid man from Boston.
Second leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
You know what I would do if I was Scott Williams?
40.
I know he's wearing yellow because of his son. I found that out in a tweet earlier. I think that's quite sweet. But as you can see, he's got his white socks showing, which makes him look like he's in a ska music video. I dig that look, actually. It's quite cool. But he's from Boston. He should have red socks, shouldn't he?
99.
Not white socks. That's Chicago. I don't know if he does support the Chicago White Sox. But if you're from a place called Boston,
180.
Scott, my advice is get some red socks. Back comes Williams.
140.
These two just seem to like playing each other. It's only the second time they have played. Actually, it's the 3rd time. Second time in 2 days here. But they have played in a ranking match before, which was won by Warburton. So his 100% record against Williams is under threat here.
105. Mike, you require
I like that switch to the 25. He doesn't make much in the way of counting errors, Scott Williams. He's a very good switcher. A great darting tactician. But Warby needs the bull.
96. Scott, you require 170.
57 needed.
57.
Comes
Mike,
up with
you require
57
25.
total. Double 8 to level things up, to get the break back.
21.
If only his doubles had been a little bit sharper this week. Double top. Nowhere near, really.
40.
And that one was just a bit ragged. In fact, his last
Like
two
to
visits
require
have been a little
4.
bit ragged. Double 2 with his last start.
No score.
That could be costly with Williams
Scott,
on
you
double 10.
require 20. Game's
Lovely
on the
find.
second leg.
Goes north
Scott
of the
Williams.
first start. Didn't want to use that bulbous barrel as a marker because with those stumpy darts, when they hit each other, they're going to bounce off quite a distance. He went for the open portion.
It's Mike to
Well done,
throw
Scott
first.
Williams.
Game on.
Is he going to drag himself off the canvas here? No points from the first night of action.
81.
If he does a Justin Smith and gets all 8 tonight, I think he might be all right.
95.
He's very good to watch. He's fast, and we all like fast players. But we like fast, good players. And that's what we have with Scott Williams. There is a lot of potential there.
100.
And I use that word potential quite loosely because all of the players here at the Online Darts Live League do not have tour cards with the Professional Darts Corporation.
99.
They have been to Q School, the most of them, and have failed to secure professional privileges. But the bright side to not getting a tour card is that they can play here.
135.
Hone their skills and have another crack come January. Back to the 60, it must be.
97.
Not for the first time in this contest. Mike Warburton is scoring better. But it's 6 shots at a double.
130.
And no success yet. When he beat Scott yesterday, he did so with an average only just shy of 90.
94. Mike,
44% on doubles. Well, if he gets 44% on doubles from this position, that will be an effort. That's the first one that he needs. So
Mike
the doubles
Warburton.
percentage has just improved as he takes a 55 checker and made that look easy. So something to build on as he goes into leg 4.
Four-legged Scott to throw first. Game on. $93.
I wonder if Scott Williams is into his cycling because of the famous yellow jersey in the Tour de France. I don't know why I gave that an extra bit of Francais in there. I'm sure there are some people tuning in on Sporty Stuff TV tonight, tucking into a little bit of a French libation, whatever it may be. And if you are, I hope you're having a very enjoyable evening, and thank you for joining us at such a late hour. We love you late
59.
night owls in the darting fraternity. You love your late night Friday darts. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more for you to come,
53.
including more of Justin Smith after this. What a player. Warburton's got to level things up here
60.
somehow, but he's going to need a few errors from Scott, who's got a 101-point lead. And darts in the 60.
130.
Oh, he's got a beautiful bullseye at the end. Using the board to his advantage.
$100.
Warburton's going to have to do this the hard way.
Scott, you require 85.
He's going to have to do it from 3-1 down. Double 16.
53.
He will be back. It's a somewhat whippy style that Scott has when he delivers the dart. There's a little bit of wrist movement in there.
58. Scott, you require 32.
It works though.
Game shot on the 4th.
And that is in for 3-1.
Scott Williams.
There's something about his action that is starting to remind me of the great Bob Anderson, the 1988 world champion. And trust me, Scott, that's a compliment.
5th leg, it's Mike to throw first.
There's not a great deal of backlift on that throw that he has, but there is precision and power when motoring that right hand forward.
100.
Just have a little look at this from Scott. Minimal backlift, and he fires it forward.
41.
The one thing he doesn't do that Bob Anderson used to do, which everybody loved, and it was way ahead of its time, was that pointing at the board every time he hit a maximum. Boy, do I miss that. I hope you're tuning in tonight, Bob, in Clevedon, down in the southwest of England. One of the nicest and most charismatic,
24.
intelligent and lovely people I have ever had the privilege of meeting. The word legend is thrown around way too much these days, but Bob Anderson, you are a legend to all of us.
85.
And trust me when I say this, he can still throw a very good dart.
81.
It's a good golf ball as well. Played golf with Bob once at Fox Hills in the southeast of England. What a real pinch me moment that
60.
was. Scott Williams has got to pinch himself into gear here. And does.
180.
Still
Mike
6 darts from
116.
116 for Mike. Can Mike check it out? I know that was not me trying to do a supermarket sweep impression. It was a play on words.
100.
Mike check. Get it? Moving on.
$140.
I'd get rid of this if I were you, Mike.
Requires 16.
Scott Williams has been bearing down on you for the last 6 darts, and he does
Warburton.
exactly that. He's looking very safe in second position, but he does not want to taste defeat tonight. He loves competition, does this man from Wrexham. He's now 3-2 down.
Game on. 57.
When you repeatedly come up against an opponent and are defeated by them, at which point does it become a mental thing to try and defeat them?
140.
When Warburton has beaten Scott Williams in their 2 previous meetings, he will think, I just want to keep beating you. If I can keep beating you,
121.
every time we do come up against each other, I've got that in the bank against you. There are some incredible stories of people having
40.
immense records against certain players. I think it was something in the region of 19 times that Michael van Gerwen had defeated Gerwin Price in a row before eventually Price got his first win against MVG. That is a classic example of that.
123.
I remember beating John Part, the 3-time world champion, something in the region of 8 or 9 times in a row and thinking I'm never going to lose to him.
54.
And then, of course, he beat me 6 legs to 1. These are the complexities of multiple games against the same opponent over the course of a career.
94. Scott, you require
Williams can win his first match against Warburton right here if he can find 60 in the ball. But Warburton has the chance to keep it going.
Mike, you require 104.
Options. That wasn't one of them. Scott Williams
72.
around 42% on his doubles.
Scott, you require
That's commendable
72.
stuff. But he might only get 1 here. He's going to get 2 at double 12. 1 at 6s.
Game
Job
shot
done.
on the match.
Mike Warburton tastes
Scott
defeat
Williams.
for the first time tonight, and the first time against Scott Williams in his career. So Scott is trending in the right direction, and he has caught Richie Burnett, of course, on 4 points now. A 4-2 victory for the man from Boston, and he has dragged himself into the race for the top 3 spots. Ooh, we're going to have to watch out to see what Richie Burnett and, of course, Paul Hogan do as well in pursuit of that 3rd spot. And it is Paul Hogan who's coming next in match 5. He's up against tabletopper Justin Smith, who's been very, very impressive, not just tonight, but last night. That's coming up after the break. Things are heating up for the top 3 spots in Group B, and the plot will thicken even further if we can get a win from Paul Hogan here, who takes on Justin Smith, the 23-year-old from Cardigan. He really has had a dream Group B so far. 5 wins from 5. He is possibly on the cusp, the way he's playing, of winning all 8 games in this group. Who's going to stop him?
On.
So game number 2 of the night for Hogan and for Smith.
100.
And at the climax of this game, we will reach the halfway point with tonight's action. One thing we
60.
do know is that even if Paul Hogan wins his last 3 games of this group stage, he's not going to catch Justin Smith.
59.
I think Justin's safe on 10 points. Warburton is almost safe on 8.
140.
But Hogan at the foot of the
Justin's
table right
last
now
score was 59. I called 59.
on 2 points. He's now chasing Scott Williams in 5th on 4 points, and Burnett in 3rd on 4 points and -3 in leg difference. It's all getting very tight in that quest for spot number 3.
59.
The next match for Richie Burnett in game 6 could be massive. If he doesn't beat Mike Warburton,
60.
it's all going to get very interesting.
$100.
Indeed, the likes of Burnett might need favours from Justin Smith.
28.
Even though he doesn't need to win, Justin's want to win every game through this group
120.
might help someone like Burnett. And we could still get that Welsh clean sweep of players through this Group B through to the finals to join Connor Scutt,
98.
Lee Cox, and
Justin,
Jared
your
Cole.
record is 63.
Smith, the better scorer. Double 16.
31.
That's the first double he's missed tonight,
require
because in that performance
150.
against Richie Burnett, he got 100%. Double 19. Well
Game shot
done,
on the
Paul
first
Hogan.
leg.
An 18
Paul
dart
Hogan.
break, and he takes that first leg with a ton plus checkout. He wasn't the highest scorer in that
Second
first leg,
Paul to throw first.
but he's the one that finished it. He would admit
180.
that he didn't play well in his first game. He only averaged 71. He'll have gone back to the practice room and given himself a stiff
100.
talking to, because he wants to make his 3rd weekly finals. He's yet to make an impression on a finals night on a Saturday.
60.
He wants that to change. But first, you've got to get there. And with Scott Williams playing much
60.
improved tonight, he's going to have to get a move on.
100.
Could he possibly inflict the first defeat on the 23-year-old from Cardigan?
60. Paul, you require 160.
Well, Hogan's averaging 97 at this very early stage, and he's looking very tidy. Bullseye, does he fancy it?
136.
He did fancy it. That would have improved his highest finish from this week by 1 point.
97. Paul, you
That is his
require
biggest
25.
finish, indeed, of the entire year as well. Double 8.
9.
He will come back to double his lead. Justin Smith has slowed down.
100. Paul, you require 16.
Crocodile Dundee
Game show on the
puts
second
the shrimp
leg.
on the barbie,
Paul
as the
Hogan.
Aussies would potentially say. In fact, part of our conversation tonight backstage was saying that Aussies don't really do that. Well, Crocodile Dundee, he does get a 2-0 lead though.
Game on. 180.
Very, very good from Justin Smith, who equalises the 180 count in this match.
140.
But Hogan has got his jaws ready to clasp shut on a second win in this group.
121.
The only win he has got so far was the very first game of the group.
100.
It's Justin Smith starting to kick in
125.
after hitting the snooze button at the start of this one. The averages are very similar at 88 now.
140.
These
Justin,
are the
you
kind of
require
finishes he's been
75.
polishing off with ease over the last couple of days. Well, he
60.
thought the second dart was in,
All you require,
and he didn't fully
121.
reset. Is he going to pay the price for that? The answer is no.
97.
Well, not yet at least, because this 15 checkout
Justin,
is
you
not
require
simple.
15.
It's a 3 or a 7. Double 4.
Game
Option
shown the
taken
third leg.
in the 2 o'clock
Justin
position. That's
Smith.
a 14 darter for Justin Smith, who makes the gap 1 leg now as opposed to 2. He hasn't had to go from behind much this week so far, but on this occasion he has to.
First. Game on.
He's been charging into the leads against people.
95.
His scrappiest performance, funnily enough, yesterday was against Paul Hogan in a 4-2 victory.
180.
It took him a little bit of time to kick in that game, just like here, but now that he's cracked it, he's only going in one direction.
41.
Oh, I thought we were going to be on for a second 9 darter from a Welshman tonight. The way he's played the last couple of days, if he got that 6th dart in the 60, that 141 was under threat. But from a dodgy start,
61
he's figured it out completely now. The average is jumping. We've had a 9 darter tonight. Are we going to get a 10?
Justin, you require 36.
Looking for a 12.
Yeah.
Has he got double 7? It's around the houses shot.
32.
I like that. I think that's a very intelligent play. But he was going for the 6. He wasn't going for the 10. The single 6 would have left double 4. He didn't want to leave double 2.
105.
Look on the bright side. It is a double.
Justin, you
And it
require
is for
4.
2-2. There's not many 13 darters, you see, finished on double 2. Double 1. And you don't see many 15 darters and double 1. But that's what you've just seen, and things are levelled at 4. A somewhat head-shaking leg there, but it is a comeback from Justin Smith. It's now 2-2.
Justin to throw first. Game on. 139.
Didn't see enough room in that treble 20 to go for the 180 that time. Just showing his flexibility on
38.
his scoring abilities. Using the 19s to his advantage. But that first dart. That first dart over the last 3 legs has been world class. He's planting it
135.
in the top half of that 60 every time. And again.
140.
He's making the game look easy. This lad is world class in the waiting.
100.
If this is his game,
Justin, you require 42.
we've got to watch out for him. I'm so impressed with him. Double 16. It is 32. Believe yourself,
Fifth leg.
because it was
Justin
2-0.
Smith.
It's now 3-2. He's come from behind and he's looking to replicate what he did yesterday. He came from behind against Paul Hogan once. He's looking to do it again.
Sixth leg, it's Paul to throw first.
His average was down in the high 70s earlier on.
140.
Look at it now. 98. That is an indication of someone who's been averaging in 3 figures for the last 3 legs.
96.
He's getting comfortable with playing at a very high level.
41.
And Hogan is in trouble in this table. He's definitely not out of it if he loses this match, but it doesn't help his cause.
134.
Right, Justin Smith, what do you do on 271? This is where counters get tested.
100.
This is an A-level shot. So this is where you've got to be creative. That's why a lot of people start on 19s. But if in doubt, just get a 2 treble visit and leave a finish anywhere.
100.
He's been too good so far.
Justin,
Can
you
he finish it with a crescendo? 116 left with 2. All he can do is set it up.
96 left. 55.
Not to
All you
be. 3
require 120.
darts kissing the wire of that 60 on the wrong side. He's not going to save himself with a Shanghai on 20s.
60.
Shanghai being treble, single and double at the same segment.
76.
But Justin Smith, his biggest strength over the last couple of days has been closing matches out very quickly.
Game
And he does it once again. A 14 darter, and let's have a look at what this average is after that stuttering start, because his personal best is under threat again. It's not quite. He's regressed to a 99.66. I thought for a second that he might have had his 3rd ton plus average, but it is still a very good performance with a 76 checkout and 36% on all of his doubles. It was a really, really good performance. Paul Hogan with some stuff to think about, but as we go into match number 6, and we've now completed our first 50% of the action, we're going to take a short break, and Richie Burnett and Mike Warburton will give us an all-Welsh clash after this. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Online Darts Live League here with Sporty Stuff TV, and of course internationally on YouTube with Online Darts. Been a fantastic night so far with some wonderful, wonderful stuff from Justin Smith, who remains undefeated after 2. You can see the table there. Justin Smith safe with 2 matches to go. He's definitely going to be in the top 3, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him at the top of the table the way he's playing. Look at that leg difference of plus 14. He has really shown what he can do this week. But Mike Warburton and Richie Burnett, who are currently in qualification spots for Saturday's final,
Okay, first
one of them is going to bolster their chances even more now.
Game on.
But make no mistake, of the players playing on the hockey now, this man, Richie Burnett, needs the points more. And he starts well.
180.
The man hitting more 180s than anybody else in this group. Starts in typical fashion.
140.
He's got half the points that Warby has. He has a bedfellow on 4 points in the table in Scott Williams, who is only one leg behind him. He's lurking. So the ideal scenario for Richie is to win here, to reverse what happened yesterday against Mike, where he lost 4 legs to 3.
140.
And when Scott Williams plays against Justin Smith in match 7, he could do with Justin doing him a favour to keep Williams at bay.
95.
Any win here for Warburton and he's safe. He's in the finals. On 8 points, he's still looking pretty good.
100. Richie
He's got Burnett
126.
and Justin Smith to play. Treble 19 leaves the ball.
38 scored, 88.
There's no guarantee that Warburton is going to get any more points to very, very good opponents.
Mike, you require 121.
So to take the pressure off himself, he'd much rather win this one.
He requires
And that's
64.
what's been happening tonight. He's only hitting about 1 of every 4 doubles attempts. And that's not good enough. Warburton is just a little bit more prolific when it comes to the outer ring, and he takes advantage of the misses of Richie Burnett. And as you can see, Burnett's at the back of the room shaking his head.
Second leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
That 15 dart break is just good news for Warburton's chances, who is sitting on 8 points and a leg difference of plus 4.
59.
One of only 2 players in this group who has a positive leg difference. The other 3 vastly in the minus.
100.
As far as tomorrow night is concerned, if Warburton's there, it might play into his hands because he's such a good grinder.
100.
It's a cutthroat format tomorrow night. There's no getting away from that. 2 games per group. And if you lose both your games, you're out, of course. But if you get 1 big win,
86.
that helps. The more you look at it, Richie, the more it'll stay where it is. It's never going to change. He's like an angry staffy that is looking for
60.
the little pieces of crispy bacon left around the kitchen. And he's not finding them.
$60.
The concentration of Richie's darts around that 60 bed has to be admired. When it clicks, it looks so good. But you can see the frustration that he shows
99.
when he doesn't pick off trebles. It illustrates just what he expects from himself. This is it. It was bound to be 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 straight down the middle. 180 number 2 for his 3rd game of the evening. And he will be the first player to complete his Group B quarter
Richie requires
when he takes on
75.
Paul Hogan in match 8. But this one has got to be negotiated first. Double 12. 2 6s.
69.
Look at the pain on his face. And that
Mike, you
pain
require
will be
108.
exacerbated if this is found. Is he looking at 18s? Needs 3 more. And now 2 more.
72.
Oh, that was close. We couldn't quite see the end of the
requires
point,
6.
but it was confirmed by our referee that it wasn't in. Richie in the madhouse.
No score.
And he's going to be feeling very, very mad right now. He should be 2-0 up.
Mike,
He's
you
had
require
plenty of darts
36.
at double in this game so far. And Warburton is getting very fortunate to have these chances.
Game
And those
shown the
chances he is
second leg.
taking. He's had
Mike
plenty
Warburton.
of practice on that double 18 in this evening. He's missed it quite a few times, but on that occasion he just scooched to the left of the oche and opened it up a little bit more. 2-0.
Third leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
One of the scenarios that really doesn't help Burnett is a heavy defeat. Because I mentioned earlier that Scott Williams, who is
57.
undefeated tonight in 2 games, is just 1 leg behind him. So if he loses to Warburton, he's going to relinquish a top 3 spot for the first time all group long.
140.
And if he does taste defeat to the man from Wrexham, he is going to need that favour from Justin Smith in the
41.
next game. There are many darts fans tuning in tonight expecting Burnett to be part of the finals tomorrow. They will be vastly disappointed
140.
if he's not there. I will be one of them. I'm supposed to be sitting on the fence, calling it in completely fair, but I'm a Richie Burnett fan.
140.
I want him to be there tomorrow night. He's box office. But he has to deserve it. He doesn't get bonus points for 9 darters.
100.
And Warburton is looking very unsympathetic to Richie's plight. He's got his own thing to concentrate on.
60.
And that is getting to 3-0. And then within
Mike,
1
you
leg
require
of making the finals himself,
121.
because Justin Smith is already there. Warburton will join him if he can get 2 more legs.
59.
171 is the magic number from 2 or 3. Almost finds it.
137. Mike, you require 62.
Burnett needs a favour. He needs a miss here from Warburton. 1 dart at double 16.
46.
And that's what Richie wanted. But
Richie
now he has to
requires
help himself.
66.
Where does he want to go? Top of the shop.
Game
Very
shown
well
the
done,
third
Richie
leg.
Burnett. You just don't know
Richie
how
Burnett.
important that could be for his chances of getting through this group. It keeps this match tightly knitted at 2-1 down.
Fourth leg, it's
And I
Mike to
don't
throw
think
first.
I was wrong
Game on.
when I saw Richie Burnett have a bit of a skip after that double top. He's in a buoyant mood this evening.
59.
Maybe he sensed just how important that was to keep himself alive. You don't want to be going 3-0 down against someone like Mike Warburton. Not at all.
60.
But that's just 1 leg that he needs. Now he needs to do all of that work again. This is a game of repetition.
140.
Darts is like running the gauntlet. you remember that game in Gladiators back in the 90s? You had to get through the first gladiator with this big cylindrical thing in front of them. And then when you got past them, you had to get past another one. Well, that's what leg play's like. When you get a leg, you start again and you do the same job. The more tired you get, the more difficult it is.
84.
Superb.
125.
Tell you what, that follow through is getting more ballet-like by the hour.
I
don't think anybody has ever accentuated a follow through of a dart more than Richie Burnett in the history of the game. Not even Jockey Wilson, and that is saying something. The late great jockey from Kirkcaldy. Sorely missed.
Mike, you require 124.
Warburton looking good for 3-1. Might stay there. Yeah, good plan. Just line it up.
92.
Double 16 when he comes back. And he's guaranteed 3 shots. If he'd have hit double 16 with 1 dart in the last leg, this would be a visit to win the match 4-0. And Richie Burnett is very, very fortunate that that is not the case.
42. Mike, you require 32.
He has his own job to do. Burnett is thinking
the
at the back of the room, but he's now thinking about
Warburton.
how do I win 3 straight legs against this man. He is playing very steady stuff, and he's looking to double his tally for the night, of course, after suffering a defeat in his last match.
Game on.
Started with a 4-0 victory over Paul Hogan. There was no resistance from Crocodile Dundee in that one.
180.
But you just get the feeling he's about to face a little bit of resistance from the 1995 world champion. It's largely forgotten that the last time the World Masters took place, which was won by one of the best characters in the game, John O'Shea, who is probably tuning in tonight. If you are, good evening, John. Hope you're well. Mike Warburton made the semi-finals of that tournament.
180.
Oh, come on, Richie. Don't do this to us. Could it be?
100. Richie,
I assure you the roof on this place is still intact after the 9-darter from earlier. It would have come off if he'd have hit another one. I said something a little bit earlier. When it clicks with Burnett right now, it clicks like it just dovetails into the most silky smooth joint.
83.
More important than
Richie,
9-darters are
41.
legs for him right now. And just taking this out is all he needs. Top bin of double 16.
25.
No panic, Richie. You will be back. He just doesn't like the fact that he's missed so many doubles. In fact, he has missed 9 darts at a double in this match so far, with only 1 successful one.
Richie, you require 16.
That is a beauty right in the middle. So
Richie
1 down
Burnett.
for Richie Burnett. And ideally for him, it will be 2 more to go. It's all down to what he does in leg number 5. Well, it isn't leg number 5, it's leg number 6. So let's get in there.
Game on.
He does break the Warburton throw here. He becomes favourite for the game. I can't help but look at that first dart and the first visit that he's had all night long. I've lost count of how many times he has started a leg with a 180 or a 140.
100.
It's been an extraordinary amount of times. I've been surveying a lot of Richie Burnett's top form from the 90s over the last few days when I've had a break from commentary duties. I've watched the whole 1996 World Final that he lost to Steve Beaton. I watched the whole 95 World Championship against Raymond van Barneveld that he won. I've come out and said on many occasions that I believe Richie Burnett was the best player in the world in 1995. Even better than Phil Taylor. But when I look at the way he plays now and the capabilities he has now, I think he's a better player now than he was back then. That's not me saying he's the best player in the world right now, because he's not.
100.
But he's still a world-class player.
Richie require 140.
Another. Just make sure of the 20. He's bust 180 before here this year. Oh, no, Richie, no! Oh, and look at Warburton. No sympathy whatsoever.
120.
He's saying come on to himself. He wants the win. And he might just get it. Burnett should be coming back for 40.
60. Richie require
But instead he's coming back for 100 more. And he needs to find 3 bits of magic. He needs another one of those. Oh boy, double 10. Oh, it was almost a mic drop style 140 out. He gave it the lot. He gave it everything he had.
Mike, you require 60.
And Burnett, so close to making it 3-3. Could be defeated.
20.
But isn't he still in there?
Richie required
What
10.
a game this has been. It's nowhere near over if Burnett finds double 5. It's there, and it's 3-3. He is clinging on
Richie
for
Burnett.
dear life by the skin of his fingernails on the cliff edge. He really does want to make these finals on Saturday night, and this next leg will probably define whether he does.
Game on.
He does have another performance to go after this against Paul Hogan, one of his challengers for that 3rd spot.
24.
But at the very, very least in this match, he has made it close as it could possibly be. If he is to be defeated by a surging Warburton at the start of the last leg,
140.
at least he made it tight. Because it is going to come down to leg difference. Okay, so Warburton has stolen the darts. It's a fresh leg from these positions. Look at that ruthless stare.
137.
Look at that ruthless 2 treble visit to back up the 140. Needs a biggie. Should be a maximum.
140.
Oh, but there came the bolt of lightning follow through that goes through his body. If he could just keep it smooth, it would have been a maximum. I don't want this match to end.
140.
There have been some great matches this week, but this one has had so much. Fair play to Warby. 84 after 9 against the darts. And he's had to wrestle with all of the animated styles of Richie Burnett, who leaves himself on 114
Mike, you require 84.
to try and get out of jail if the man from Wrexham can't get the 12 darter. Double 12. Match dart number 3.
72.
Burnett survives
Richie, you require
for a second consecutive leg. Can he finish it? No. 109 with 2 darts. 89 left. Has to go for the 57.
44. Mike, you require 12.
Double 6 to finish the job. It's not there yet. But it's still open if he goes to the left a bit, which he does.
No,
and he's not able to find it.
Richie, you require 70.
Look at that large exhalation from the experienced man from the Valleys. 14s he does. And he's relying on 1 dart at tops. And he finds it. Huge victory for Richie Burnett. Look at that reaction from him. It is disappointment for Mike Warburton. He should have won that game. He knows it. But he's still in a fantastic position in the table. But what a 2 points that is for Richie Burnett, who survives with an 88 average. That game was exhausting for me, for both of the players, and I'm sure for everybody watching that from the edge of their seats. That was only match number 6. We've still got 4 more to go. Justin Smith, Scott Williams, come on down after the break. Welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. Paul the Asset Nicholson calling the rest of the action in for tonight. I think everybody needed a few minutes just to collect their breath after that previous match, because it was proper crackers. Will the next one be the same? Because there's the table. Richie Burnett consolidates third position.
Hey, first leg,
He's now 2 points ahead of Scott Williams,
Game on.
who now needs to keep pace with the Prince of Wales. But if this Welshman, who is safe for the finals
57.
later on tonight, live on Sporty Stuff TV from 10 p.m, if he does the job against the man from Boston,
92.
then Richie Burnett is going to plant a big kiss on his forehead. The job won't be done, but what we will see is, with the remaining fixtures that we do have, if Richie Burnett
99.
beats Paul Hogan in the next match and Justin Smith wins this one,
100.
Richie looks pretty safe. In fact, he will be safe, because Richie would be on 8 points and Scott would only be able to get to 6.
180.
So for now, this is a must-win game for Scott Williams.
95. Scott, you require
If he does
130.
lose, he could do with Paul Hogan beating Burnett.
$54.
That was an interesting follow-through. It's almost like he was going to do some limbo after going for that treble 18.
140.
Everybody's been reading the
Scott,
coaching
you
manual
require 76.
of Richie Burnett with a little bit of a dismount on throwing darts. That's a miss at the single. And Justin Smith,
36.
who we know
Justin,
from
you require
6
64.
undefeated games in this group, is very good at closing out legs. Double 8.
$56.
Just wasn't comfortable before that third
Scott, you
dart was
require
delivered,
40.
and maybe found himself a bit out of
Game
rhythm.
show on the first
Scott
leg.
Williams takes advantage
Scott
of that.
Williams.
A somewhat slow start from Justin Smith, considering some of the averages he's put in, but we saw in his last game his ability to bounce
Second leg,
back.
it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
One of the statistics that has just been delivered to me by
43.
our fantastic stats guy, Mark Walker. Only one person has gone through a Group B unbeaten,
140.
and that is James Richardson, the man who holds a lot of records here at the Online Darts Live League. He has the best average,
95.
of course, of the entire Phase 4, 107.36. He has 2 9-darters. He's played the most matches, 172. And of course, that one that I just mentioned, the only person to be undefeated in a Group B.
140.
So the undefeated streak of Justin Smith, again, is tested.
60.
And right now, Richie Burnett will be watching the monitors and thinking, come on, Justin, do me a favour. Take him out.
$53. Justin, you require 161.
High finish for Justin Smith
100.
is
Scott, you require
133.
170.
And that didn't come yesterday, but this 170 might come now.
Game
Oh,
shot
it's
on
the third one of the
leg.
week. We've had a
Scott
9-darter, we've got a 170. What else are we going to see tonight? Well, I'm not going to forget about that wonderful game that we just saw, but that was a wonderful
The
check
late's
out from
Justin
Scott
to throw
Williams.
first. Game
Bad
on.
news for Burnett. Good news for Williams. Seen one from Scott Marsh earlier in the week. His namesake Scott Williams gets one, and Connor Scutt got one yesterday. 3 170s this week.
60.
Add to that 3 160s, a 161, and a plethora of others.
100.
It might not have been the highest standard of play this week, but as far as big finishes are concerned, there's been stacks of them.
100.
This is better. We know how good he is from 2-0 down.
180.
He was 2-0 down against Paul Hogan and won 4-2, averaging nearly 100. Is this where
85.
Justin Smith kicks into
Justin,
gear?
you require 41.
He almost busted there, a treble 14, and that was the end of the visit. Well, he can't miss the
25.
60, but he can't hit a single number. Maybe a sign that he spent a lot of time practicing the 60, but
41.
maybe not enough time
Justin, you
practicing
require 60.
other portions of the board. That will all be forgotten. And is forgotten as he takes a 14 darter on double 8.
Smith.
So he's on the board now at 2-1 down. And this one is really rapid, isn't it? It's really good to watch. Plenty to come after it, but what's going to happen from
Scott
here?
to throw first. Game on. $125.
We've had two players who like the colour yellow in the last week or so. Last week it was Jamie Kelling, the man they called the Yellow Submarine.
57.
And now we have Scott Williams.
$140.
I like it when players have got a favourite colour. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
58.
Just to give you an indication as to why he does like yellow, he explained on Twitter earlier today, it's all to do with my son Buzz, nicknamed Buzzy B.
89.
I have a B logo. The SW on my back I designed as is a hexagon, black and yellow for the colour of a bumblebee. So that is the full explanation for, indeed,
60.
the logo and the colour scheme.
Scott,
so
you require 147.
nice work, Scott. He's in a good position to get a 3-1 lead.
91. $59.
We have to confirm
Scott,
that
you
Justin
require
Smith doesn't need
56.
any more victories. He's going to be safe. But Scott Williams needs them. Double 10.
46.
We've seen so much drama in the previous match between Warburton and Burnett. And you can see that Burnett is clinging on to that third spot.
140. Scott,
It's
you
going to be
require
down to their
10.
final matches between Williams and Burnett, potentially.
No
it's
score.
bust. Here's me thinking it was
Justin,
going to
you
be
require
3-1 to Scott Williams.
127.
I might be wrong. 17 in bull. Oh, it was
102.
almost 2-2.
Scott, you required
The
10.
line on that dart was so good. Again, he goes for 2-4.
Game
And
shot
this
on the
time he gets it
fourth
right. So it is 3-1
Scott
eventually.
Williams.
And Richie Burnett is looking over his shoulder all right. Not just the fact that he could have company on 6 points, but his leg difference is being extinguished.
Fifth leg, it's Justin to throw first. Game on.
So let's have a look at that, shall we? Burnett on 6 points and -2.
59.
Currently, Williams on 4 points and -4. So if he wins by 4 legs to 2, he will be on exactly the same points
100.
and leg difference as Burnett. But if he wins 4-1, he'll go into third spot for the first time.
137.
And because he has to play his last game in the last match, he will have all the information he needs
99.
before he plays Paul Hogan. But before we get to that point, he has to solidify this win to get his third of the
60.
night. Don't forget as well that this is a
98.
battle of two undefeated players. Neither of them have tasted defeat tonight. but one of them's about to.
180.
Third 180 for Justin Smith in the match. And some good timing on that one.
58. Justin, you require 65.
Tops for 3-2. Has to readjust on this occasion.
20.
And the last time he did that, he missed on double eight.
You require 146.
So this is a chance for the match. He likes starting treble 18 first, doesn't he? The only person I've seen do that as much is Rob Cross, the former world champion.
96. Justin, you require 40.
Can't afford any more mistakes on tops. And we don't get one on double 10, so it is 3-2. And the idea of Justin coming from behind and nicking another victory, it's still a very real possibility, possibly with 2 legs to go.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
Scott Williams averaging 86. Smith with a 91.5.
128.
And when they played yesterday evening, it was
45.
Scott Williams that averaged 86 on that occasion too. But Justin Smith with a 4-2 victory averaged almost 99. Before this game tonight, he was averaging over 100 for the evening.
90.
He really is a bit frisky with his switch shots, isn't he? Using the bullseye on that occasion.
140.
There wasn't really any logic to it. But 283, a lot of people like the 19s first. Because you try and get 7 19s down south, then another 6 that leaves double 18. It's concentrating yourself on one target.
$100.
It's all tied up pretty much. After 9 darts thrown. Williams has the darts.
81.
And he falters until dart 3. So he leaves the Van Gerwen, the 145 for the match. When Michael did it, he did it to win a major.
140. Scott, you require.
And he might just need it because Justin Smith loves a shot like 76. He's going to sit on tops and wait. He's not going to have to wait long to find out if he's going to get a shot for the match. Big moments here. It's 25 and bull. Just don't hit the bullseye until dart 3. Oh, you've got to get the 25 first, though. And he's only scored 20, so 56. And Scott Williams
40.
has a chance to win 4-2 to draw level with Richie Burnett on the same points and the same leg difference. And that is exactly what has happened. He remains undefeated for the night. A very, very different evening to what we saw from him yesterday, because he didn't win one single match yesterday. He's won 3 out of 3 now. And if he wins 4 from 4, he might just find his way to the finals. 87.48 for Scott, 91.79 for Justin Smith. So he tastes defeat for the very first time this week. He's still safe. Scott Williams has to wait. But the next match is huge. Paul Hogan will play his 3rd game. Richie Burnett will play his 4th. And it's all on the line for him right after the break. Good morning, and we are about to go into pretty much the last furlong of our Group B action here at the Online Darts Live League. We have Richie Burnett playing his fourth and final match of the morning as it stands, because it is about 12:25. You can see that things are fairly tight in that third and fourth positions in the table. Only one player can snag third spot. And indeed, second spot has not been nailed down yet, with Mike Warburton taking on Justin Smith next. But right now we have two players in Richie Burnett and Scott Williams locked in two facets, in points and leg difference.
To throw first.
And with this being the last performance of the night for Richie Burnett, it's his last chance to see whether he can book his place. After this game, it's out of his hands.
180.
Essentially what he's got to do is beat Paul Hogan by a bigger scoreline than Scott Williams, because Scott has to play Paul in match 10. What is Paul Hogan up to?
180.
There are times in my commentary career where I can be lost for words. Not very often.
100.
But this would stump me. It's not going to be a 9-darter.
94.
But it is still a blistering start from Paul Hogan. It's exactly what Richie Burnett did not want to see.
58. Paul, you require 47.
Double 16 to take the first leg. In Usain Bolt style.
Game
in
shot
no time whatsoever.
Leg. Paul Hogan.
Well, 12 darts to take the first leg, and Richie Burnett is left scratching his head as if to say, if you're going to play like that, how am I going to beat you?
Second leg, it's Richie to throw first. Game on.
It's not as if Richie played poorly in that first leg, because he didn't.
180.
The possibilities of this game are infinite. We could have a really, really good game on our hands. And
95.
I just sense, with this early accuracy from Paul Hogan, that Richie Burnett is going to have to find a very, very good performance if he wants to get 2 more points.
100.
Let's say that Richie is defeated here by 4 legs to 3 by Hogan. Well, he would need
100.
I think at this stage, I'm just ad-libbing, I think he would need Paul Hogan to beat Scott Williams by 4 legs to 2, so that Richie would go through on leg difference. But
60.
that in itself would see Paul Hogan on 6 points himself, but he would not be able to bridge the leg difference, because he's on minus 11 before this game began.
60.
Courtesy of some drubbings from other players.
Richie, you require 161.
Richie is the chief in this one.
60.
But he wanted more than that.
$100. Richie requires
Just got to take care of business here with Hogan on 146. 71 left. So treble 13.
69.
He's himself tidily placed on 32.
146.
Oh, hang on a minute. Went for the second treble 20 for double 13. I think that was the right shout.
110. Richie,
so Burnett has
32.
company with 3 darts at a double. Just has to close Hogan out. These are the misses he can't afford. This is a big dart. That was a massive dart.
Richie
and
Burnett.
if you know Paul Hogan the way that I know Paul Hogan, and you know how much he loves double 18, that was a vital double 8 for Richie Burnett.
Third leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
It's 1-1. It could so easily be 2-0, but Hogan was closed out.
55.
Now here is a scenario for you. And if this doesn't keep you tuned in for the rest of the night, I don't know what will. Richie and Scott's legs record are currently tied.
81.
If indeed they can't be separated by points or leg difference, we go to legs 1.
100.
Currently, they've won 21 each before this match began and lost 23. They're identical. Their head-to-head record is identical
50.
at 1-1. They both won by 4 legs to 3. We then have to go to the very last thing. Averages.
100.
We could go to the very final dart of the group to find out who goes through. Everything will be clearer at the conclusion of this contest. We will keep you up to date with the permutations as and when they become apparent.
140.
Hogan gets to the finish after 12. I'm having to take deep breaths here. What a group this has been. Everything that Richie Burnett is involved in is just fireworks.
106.
He's a ratings machine. And I've already had a person that I know quite well tweeting me tonight saying he should go on I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. Well, he's a dart player. He doesn't want to leave here.
We
use some misses from Hogan, but Hogan has 88 on his mind. And he finds 88 to get to 2-1. Didn't even hesitate when he missed the single 16 there. I was just wondering if he was going to step back and then take a look at 88. He found it with dart 2, and he is in a 2-1 lead.
To throw first. Game on.
Just to clarify, if we do have to go to the averages of Williams and Burnett, it is the overall average of the players over the 8 matches that they've played in this group. The stuff that Richie did earlier in the week does not count. That's a different group. It's over the 8 matches played in Group B. This is a good fixed job
140
from Richie Burnett after having a dart on the floor in his first visit. He rectifies the situation with 2 trebles in visit number 2.
100.
But this is an old school game between the man who made his debut at Lakeside back in 1995 in Hogan, the year that Richie won the tournament.
180.
He knows plenty about leaving 141 from 321 in 3 darts.
41.
He's done it 3 times tonight.
You require 141.
Is he going to do it again? He's getting plenty of practice on
90.
that 141 checkout. It's a good match. Averages are good as well. Burnett 93.53.
140.
Hogan 98.
Richie required 51.
He's playing properly all of a sudden. Double 16 to level things up after 4.
Game shot on the
He doesn't mess around this time.
Richie Burnett.
When he won leg 2, he needed to find a last start double 8, but this time it was a bit more stress-free. And we go into leg 5 with a best of 3 scenario now.
To throw first.
Fingernail biting time. Fingernail biting if you are Burnett and Scott Williams.
45.
And of course, the person with the abacus looking at the averages. The tighter this match is, the more impossible it is
60.
for Paul Hogan to qualify. I think we've got to the stage where he can't.
140.
If he does win by 4 legs to 2, he can only get to -9 and have 4 points. So the best he would do from there is -5.
100.
And I don't think that's going to be good enough. Yeah, -5 wouldn't cut it because he wouldn't be able to get over Richie Burnett,
30.
who at the very worst is going to get 6 points and -4. So I can now confirm now that Paul Hogan is gone. He's not going to make the finals.
42.
Oh, Burnett on 299. And he's been in this position before. This is where
100.
I always say, every time, you've got to start on 19s. He can't leave a finish now. That single guarantees it.
60.
He's going to have to do it the hard way, the way he did it against Mike Warburton, winning 4 legs to 3.
130.
That was gripping. If he doesn't get the job done, he's going to hope
99.
that Paul Hogan can.
All you require 56.
Double 18, I said he loves it. And that's
Game
why
show the 5th leg.
he knows where it is.
Paul Hogan.
He's been in that postcode for most of his career. 3-2 up now, and Richie Burnett is at the point of no return. He needs to win this next leg.
It's Richie to throw first. Game on.
If he doesn't, then Scott Williams will know exactly what he'll need to do.
180.
Brinkmanship darts from a legendary player.
125.
Quite incredible that it's been 26 years since he won the world title. 25 years for Steve Beaton, and they're still playing world-class stuff. They've seen people come and go, but they're still fighting
100.
to win games. Timeless stuff.
60.
Using up all that focus in his mind. And Paul Hogan looks way more
100.
relaxed than Richie does. I wonder if Paul knows that he's already eliminated.
84.
If he does, he can relax and just
Richie
play
require
darts
120.
and see how the chips fall. How much Richie would just like to get rid of this in 6 darts, or indeed less.
55.
Doesn't want Hogan to get something like a 140 here and just trouble his position. But that might happen.
85.
That's a great last start for Burnett.
Richie
A poor one for Hogan.
66.
Double 18 this time for Richie. Double 9.
48.
That was a somewhat cagey
We
effort.
require
A
147.
rather hopeful attempt at the 18 bed. But 147 would have been for the match.
81.
What does he do?
Richie require 18.
He's going to back himself on the split. Double 4. He gets it. He had a plan. He wasn't going to go straight for that double 9, and I really do believe it was because the effort at double 9 was not good before. 10 double 4, job done, into leg 7.
Final leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Not a lot of right-handers like double 9, because if you're right-eye dominant, you have to throw across
60.
the board, across your left eye. It's not a natural shot.
$100.
Burnett squeezing the lemon for all its juice. This is the last leg he will play, potentially, this
60.
week. If he wins 4-3, and Scott Williams wins by 4-2 or more, he's going to go through and Richie will not.
32.
How much is Richie ruining? Losing to Scott Williams earlier in that game that included a 9-darter for Burnett. Oh, it's a magnificent 180 from Hogan. If Burnett loses 4-3, he indeed needs Hogan to beat Scott Williams in the last match of the night. And if he was to beat Scott Williams by 4-2 or better, Richie would go through.
122.
Hogan's miles in front. And Burnett is shaking his head as if to say his job is done.
68.
The fact of the matter is, it's now out of his hands. Double top.
39.
And Hogan will return. Hogan is now the villain for Burnett and his fans. But Hogan could be the hero.
60. We require
if he gets
40.
another win later on. He is the villain right now, winning by 4 legs to 3.
Hogan.
And Richie Burnett will have to be informed of the permutations when he gets back to the practice room. It is Paul Hogan's first win of the night. It's a very impressive performance on the checkouts of 50%, as you can see. Just shy of a 93 average. So maybe a little bit of form before he takes on Scott Williams in that match, of course, in match 10. Before we get there, we're going to have Justin Smith and Mike Warburton with their final match. That's match 9 coming after this. and welcome back. Match number 9 about to begin, and you could say that this is the calm before the storm. These two combatants are assured of being in the finals later on tonight. These two Welshmen have done very, very well, and they will take the top 2 spots in this group. Let's have a little look at the table, though. There are permutations relating to Scott Williams and Richie Burnett, and we will get to those in the next match. But this is to see how many points Justin Smith will finish with, and indeed Mike Warburton. A 14-point haul, if Justin wins this one, will be a very commendable effort. He is assured of winning the group. He can't be caught by second-placed Warby.
100.
Incredible leg difference as well for Justin of plus 12. So there's no pressure on this game. They know that this is not going to be their last game of the week.
60.
And Warburton has gone the full hog. Just doing my little bit of look around my notes as well. And if Richie Burnett does not make it through, like I say, we'll get onto that in the next game. Mike Warburton will be the only player who will have played every day this week. He will play a grand total, possibly, of 29 matches this week. Only if he makes the semi-finals, of course. That's for later on. But right now, he's looking to avenge a 4-1 defeat to Justin Smith from Thursday night, when they did battle in Game 2 of Thursday evening. That was Mike Warburton's 100th game of the year here at the Online Darts Live League. And Justin spoiled the Centurion celebrations by planting in a 96 average and a very, very good performance.
60.
Which had a lot to do with the consequential confidence that we've seen from him since then.
$97.
Solid start from Justin. Mike can leave double one here if he hits a 180, but he's not that kind of player.
98.
Left scratching his head.
46.
He may be looking at the next leg.
Game
and that is ruthless from Justin Smith. And earlier on in the evening, we did mention ruthless James Richardson, of course, the man who remained undefeated in Group B in Phase 3.
Second leg, it's Justin to throw first.
Justin Smith failed to mimic ruthless in getting 8 wins from 8. But he could potentially get 7.
57.
Again, I will say this is the best I've seen from Justin over the course of a couple of group days. He did have some success in the 2020 Live League when playing from our own homes during lockdowns.
180.
But the level of performance and the amount of things that have shone from him over the last couple of days, I do believe it's the best I've seen him play, which is really good for his future. That's not to say that everything's going to go according to plan for him over the next season or two. He might be one of those players who doesn't really kick in until his 30s.
180.
The amount of times that we've seen these players go for 9 darters tonight, we've seen Burnett go for a couple. He's got 100.
One.
Paul Hogan got back-to-back 180s. Now Mike Warburton's at it. Just too low. I would never begrudge Warby getting a 9 darter. He does have the personal best average in a single game of all of these players. 111.33.
60.
That was a few months ago.
Mike, you require 82.
Great response, though, after losing that first leg, and that's a beautiful bullseye. Is there such a thing as a bad bullseye?
Game shot on the second leg.
No, there isn't, because
Mike
that was
Warburton.
82 and 3. Bullseye double 16 is insured. 1-1 in this one. And Warby may
Like it's
fancy
Mike
just
to throw
trying to
first.
get one more little
on.
piece out of Justin Smith. Just in preparation, potentially, for a meeting later on.
100.
The one thing Justin hasn't had to deal with over the last 2 nights is trying to bounce back from defeat.
41.
Scott Williams getting that win over Justin has kept himself in with a shout of getting through this group as well.
60.
He's doing what Nathan Gervin did on Wednesday, and indeed what he did today. Nathan Gervin, you might not have seen via the Online Darts YouTube channel in Group
60.
A, won the group on Wednesday on the daily table, but failed to get through on top spot because that was Jared Coles. And then today, he won 5 games out of 5.
96.
But his Thursday form was weighed down on today, so he didn't get through that group either. So a somewhat sporadic week for the young Scot.
100.
Just goes to show that playing multiple days here could have multiple results that add up to a total that is just shy. And that's exactly what Wes Newton tasted as well. He was literally 1 dart away from qualification.
180.
How easy did he make that 180 look? That was sickeningly easy. Trust me, 180s aren't easy to hit.
60.
Just a little window into how talented Justin Smith can be.
You require 120.
He could have hit that 60 with his eyes shut. He doesn't bust the score the way that Richie Burnett bust 140 earlier.
100.
He doesn't take the Shanghai out either.
Mike, you require 86.
That leaves 74. Unfortunately, he can't finish 60.
27.
That's a bit of a lax single.
You require 20.
He won't be pleased with that one. He should be falling behind now. That one might be just a little close. That is a really good dart from Justin Smith. A lot of dart players would have struggled finding that double 10 with his barrel so close to the edge of that wire. But not Justin Smith, 2-1.
Fourth leg, it's Justin to throw first.
Those 3 darts were magnetized to each other. Just the way that these are going to be.
140.
Unfortunately for him, the last one falls short. I remember when I was about 21 years of age, I bought myself a set of darts.
180.
And they were actually magnetized. I thought to myself, how are these things legal? Funnily enough, they weren't on the market that long. Funny that.
$85.
Solid performance here from Warburton, averaging 90.6. Justin Smith, even though he's played some great stuff to get back in front, he's only averaging 85.
180.
Well, that is his second 180. Warburton's got 3. I don't think they're finished yet. I think there's going to be more.
94. Justin, you require 121.
This is the kind of thing that's under threat in this form.
45. Mike, you require 142.
He's going to go for the 60 on this. A lot of people these days like the treble 17s for this. But this is tops.
100. 122.
Fine effort to draw things level at 2-2.
Justin, you require 76.
But the league leader has 76 for 3-1. Single 16 surely. He wants to leave double 18. Good job.
58.
Not good enough on the double 18 though.
Require 20.
Slide it down the barrel. That one has a bit of a flight awkwardness about it because the flight is kicked left. He has to go high from the right.
Game
oh, that is majestic from Mike Warburton. Well, if he's looking for a slightly better nickname than Warby, how about this one? Mr. Majestic, because that dart was majestic. I would like to say
Mike to throw first.
That was the best double 10 we've seen today. And I'm going to categorically say it's the second best. Because there was a double 10 today from Scott Marsh.
45.
It was one of the best I've ever seen. He threw it from the left-hand side of the hockey, almost inside the camera lens. And we got the best view of that double 10 that is possible. We saw it fly through the air from that camera angle that you've just seen. And we saw it sail through the air into the red bit. It was a magical dart. And he threw it from at least 8 feet.
140.
I'm still imploring the production staff to try and clip it up and stick it on social media because it was one of the best darts I've seen this year.
140.
Only 60. And Justin Smith tied at 2-2. Has the impetus here.
96.
It's a forceful throw. It's not as violent as it was 12 months ago. It has smoothed out, which is a really good sign.
60.
Somewhat violent looking shirt as well. Are there talons on the front of that shirt?
100.
Earlier today we saw Nathan Gervin have a bit of an accident with one of the points on his dart and he cut his hand in that match. He was quite unbelievable.
100.
He kept bleeding.
Justin, you require 84.
But it didn't stop him from winning. Double 12.
Game
and that is an 84
fifth
checkout for a 15 darter.
Justin Smith.
There isn't much on the line in this match because league positions are sewn up. And Justin Smith is now one leg away from a 7th win in this group.
Safe leg, it's Justin to throw first.
No one's going to trouble
Game on.
Mike Warburton's position in second either. Nothing's going to change there. It's just bragging rights here. And possibly a precursor for a meeting later on today.
60.
I did say it, didn't I? It wasn't going to be the last 180. There it is. From Justin, the 6th of the match.
97.
Cantering towards the finish line, and Warburton can do very little about it. That 60 start from him ensures
100.
that by scoring a maximum there, he could only get to 261, which would still be half a dart behind Justin Smith. Well, that is an opportunity, though. Get a 140 here and you're back in touch.
He
doesn't get anything of substance. And Justin Smith will. Just thinks twice on what he wants.
137.
The initial thought was a good one. He thought treble 19, thought against it, And then he went back to it. Great resilience here. And he gets to the maximum
180.
eventually with a little
47.
deflection. But it's all about this shot here from Justin Smith, who finishes the job in 14 darts. It's another great performance and great respect between those two players. Great to see that. They're both through to the finals, and Justin Smith with one final victory and a 91 average with 44% on the doubles there, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. He wins the group with 14 points. 8 points it is for Mike Warburton, and that's good enough for second position. But it's all about this last match. We'll talk about the permutations after the break, but it's either going to be Richie Burnett or Scott Williams that join those two Welshmen in the finals tonight. We'll be right back just after this. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our final match of the night / morning, because it is the morning now here in the UK. Thank you for staying up with us, and it is time to figure out whether Scott Williams or Richie Burnett will join Mike Warburton and Justin Smith in our Week 2 finals on Saturday night.
Okay, first leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Good thing for Scott Williams, he has the darts. He knows,
100.
quite simply, if he wins this match, he's through. With that,
60.
he will also win the daily table, because he has not tasted defeat today. And if he gets a 4th straight win against this great group, he will deserve a place in the finals, in my view. After getting no points on Thursday, he could possibly get a maximum 8 here. But there is a scenario that we have to touch on. If Paul Hogan wins by 4 legs to 3, we will not be able to separate Richie Burnett and Scott Williams with points, leg difference, legs won, legs lost, and their head-to-head. 5 different scenarios would be the same if it's 4-3 Hogan. He's not going to go for the 107 in 2 darts. What he is going to do is just leave tops. Very intelligent there from Scott Williams. We'll touch on the other possible scenarios in the next leg, because it looks like Scott, full of beans and confidence right now,
125.
He's going to get rid of this first leg
40.
in 5 visits. Double 5.
35.
Oh, hello.
Paul, you require
Paul Hogan says hello. Does he say g'day? Double 18, surely. Oh, he's gone 16 for double top.
96.
Did he think
Scott,
twice on that one?
5.
Was that the right play? Oh, double 1. Oh, you've got to get the 1 first.
Paul, you require
He had
20.
such a good guide for the double 1 if he'd have got the single. But Paul Hogan takes that first leg. And boy, it feels like I'm looking at the Matrix. I was getting a bit lost there, because surely Williams was going to take that leg, but it was pinched.
Second leg, it's Paul to throw first.
I can't take this tension. I really can't. So that leads me to the other possible scenario.
100.
If Hogan wins by 4 legs to 2, or indeed 4-1 or 4-0, Richie Burnett is through, and Williams would lose his place in the finals.
100.
But let's go back to the possibility of 4-3. 4-3 to Scott Williams is fine. He would go through. But 4-3 to Hogan, and those scenarios I talked about in leg 1, we sweep them to the side, and the thing that would separate the two of them are their averages over the course of this group. Now, what we can tell you, leg by leg, is what the standing is. Before it began, Richie's average is 87.62.
60.
As it stands now, after that first leg, Scott's average is 85.52, so he's behind. So currently,
56.
Unless he gets a move on, 4-3 as a loss is not good enough.
40. Scott, you require 136.
He's not under the cosh just from the score sheet, but from the averages as well. Big pressure. 61 left.
90.
That's fine.
He requires 76.
What's not fine is if Hogan gets 61 more himself. He has to go 11. Oh, has he got it wrong? Has he got it wrong? He has got it wrong.
Yep.
He's pulled a de Souza. It should have been 11.
44.
Not 15.
Scott, you require 46.
What a gift this is. But you've got to get the single. That must have slipped. 35 left. That's double 8. He's missed 2 singles.
30.
He's missed the key double as well.
Pole you require 32.
Things are getting a bit slippery and a bit nervy. Double 16 for Hogan. How much of that can he see?
No score.
Not enough.
Scott you requires 16. Game
Finds
shown
the
the
double 8 and it's
second leg.
1-1.
Scott Williams.
Oh, let me just take a bit of a deep breath out because this is really, really tense. Scott Williams is dicing with his death in Group B here.
Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
This is better.
140.
He is a bit of an exuberant character, isn't he? That was almost a no-look 180 attempt.
140.
The kind of behaviour we get from someone who lives not that far away from him. Reese Robinson. I'm sure Reese is tuning in tonight. Loves watching the darts, does Reese. Scott's average over the course of this particular group has gone down to 85.35 now, so it's only going one way. Burnett is chiefing the average statistic.
81.
So the more we go into this match and the more Scott Williams does not improve his stats, the more he needs to win.
100.
The deck is stacked against him, but he has that beautiful golden scenario of just winning the game.
44. Paul, you require 161.
Hogan's playing better than him in this leg, though.
105.
This time he does get the 25. I could think of some easier players to defeat to get my way through to the finals on Saturday night. Paul Hogan is a veteran.
56.
This time he does go 20 for double 18. Well, he had a little bit of a look
52.
away from the board before going for that double 9. He wasn't fully focused. 54 for tops. That's not in.
48.
And Hogan will go for Desmond
4.
at the base of the board.
Game shown the
That is
third
in
leg.
for 2
Paul
2s.
Hogan.
And 2-1 it is in the score. So, if Paul Hogan finds another couple, I think Scott Williams may be seeing the door.
Fourth leg, it's Paul to throw first.
You can say what you like about group play,
60.
but when it comes down to things like this, it really is exciting. The average for Scott Williams in this group has slipped
100.
again to 85.05. It just seems to me, as he's running out of legs, the average scenario
100.
is working against him. He probably doesn't even know about that permutation.
100.
He's just trying to win the game. He now has to win the game. That's my view. You're not going to get an extra 3 on your average over the course of an entire
131.
group in the space of maybe 3 legs. That's just not possible. You'd probably need 3 9 darters.
105. Scott, you require 170.
You might need this, though. Oh, that's a bit
86.
frisky. He
All
was
you
going for
require,
120 to leave Bull. Double 18. Hogan is 3-1 ahead. Scott Williams.
Paul Hogan.
Oh, he's in huge trouble now. Paul Hogan loves a 96 checkout and he loves double 18. The amount of times he's done that in his career, immeasurable.
Fifth leg, it's Scott to throw first.
In this game, Hogan is averaging 88
60.
himself. He's left his challenge too late, which I'm sure a lot of people in the Berkshire and Hampshire area will be disappointed about.
140.
Scott Williams' average goes back up again for the group to 85.35.
128.
He's going to have to win the next 3 straight.
100.
And if he doesn't, Richie Burnett is in the finals.
140.
Hogan's got 6 darts from 261 to do the job. To finish with his own little flourish.
60.
And to finish on the same points as Hogan. Burnett, he can't finish on the same points as himself. He's not playing against himself.
57.
As Burnett and Williams. What can he leave from 201? He could leave 96 again if he goes 25.
105.
That's exactly what he's done.
Scott, you require 116.
This has got to go. But he's missed the single again. Match point for Paul Hogan.
76.
And it's not just match point for him.
96.
It's qualification point for Richie Burnett. No shot. And Scott Williams has dodged his first bullet.
25. Scott, you require 40.
Tops. 10s.
30.
That could be the door.
All you require 71.
And Williams has not tasted defeat tonight, but he might right now. Double 16. That's that. And Paul Hogan does eliminate Scott Williams from Group B, and Richie Burnett survives. He diced with so many tight matches over the course of the night, but that's a very professional performance from Paul Hogan in winning 4 legs to 1. He finishes with 2 successive wins over Scott Williams and indeed Richie Burnett, his 2 closest rivals. They finish all on 6 points. So it is Burnett, it is Justin Smith, and it is Mike Warburton getting the Welsh clean sweep from Group B. They're all going through, as you can see from that graphic there. It was all very tight as we went to the wire, but the 3 Welsh players will grace the finals with a few other guys that did their job a little bit earlier in the week. Thank you for your company on Sporty Stuff TV tonight. I'm going to go and get some much needed rest ahead of the finals, and I really do hope you can join us a little bit later on. It is a little bit shy of 1:20 in the morning here in the UK. Everybody, go to bed. We'll see you at the finals, 10 p.m. Sporty Stuff TV in the UK. The Asset signing out for now. See you guys later.